Greg Hall.
Romeo is bleeding, but you can see his blood. It's nothing but some things and his old dark guitar. I'm waiting since you left me, now I'm drowning in the flood. See, I've always been a fighter, but without
Big fan.
I give up. I can sing a love song like the way it's meant to be. Well, I guess I'm not as good anymore, but baby, that's just me. I will love you, baby, always, and I'll be there forever in the day. Always, all the pictures that you left behind, of those memories of a different life. So many us laugh, so many us cry. Whether made you ever say goodbye? Would I get to roll my fingers through your hair, touch your lips, to hold you near when you say your prayers? Try to understand, I've made mistakes, I'm just a man. When you hold you close, when you push you near, when it says the words you've been needing to hear. I've been showers in, but these words of mine say till the end of time, and I will love you, baby, always, and I'll be there forever in the day.
Automatic leg up for you, eh?
I think Nick's a bit crook. He's got a sore knee or something, isn't he?
I think he is crook. So if Nick is watching at home, best wishes to you, and no doubt he won't feel any pain or any sickness if one of the Williams team horses hit the front.
That's for sure. Godolphin have never won the race. They've got 5 in it this year. Well represented, Brass.
Yes, for sure. And as you mentioned, Godolphin and the Williams team, good luck to our race caller, Greg Miles, who has to wade all the way through that sea of blue and different coloured caps because they account for almost a third of the field, that conglomerate.
There's the overhead shot as they gather at the start point for the famous race. Since Vintage Crop won in 1993, 100 horses, or nearly 100 horses, have come here trying to win the race first up, and none have managed. 7 have got close running second, though.
Yeah, okay, well, that's an interesting stat, but yeah, things have changed over the years, the way horses are trained, and yeah, it sort of had people thinking about how you prepare stayers down under when we had Vintage Crop there many years ago, because by and large you just had to race your horse on a Saturday. It was the only way they did it.
There's a 1,200 metre run to the first turn, so you know they've got plenty of time to find their positions. They always give the horses a massive cheer as they go past the post the first time. Who do you think will lead, Brass?
Well, I'd imagine Big Orange will lead, going on what we've heard, and otherwise the Japanese horse, where is he, Curran Mirotic, is going to force the gallop just to make it a true tempo and test out all that endurance. So we'll have to see which one actually takes up the running, but as you say, it's a long run to the first turn. If you haven't got across by the time you get to the winning post and out of the straight, you are in a bit of strife if you caught deep.
And the reports out of Werribee have been very strong for Big Orange. Anything late we need to know about, Dave?
No, just seen a few bets roll in for horse number 13, Heartbreak City for Joe Moreira.
All right, they are starting the loading process for the 2016 Melbourne Cup. $6 million as we join Greg Miles.
Coming up into the gates, the $6 million Emirates Melbourne Cup, and they're lining in well. The greatest 2-mile handicap in the world about to be run before your eyes as Bondi Beach moved up, 1 of 4 for Lloyd Williams. Grey Lion goes in for Glenn Boss. Could he equal the Melbourne Cup riding record of 4 winners? Both he and Damien Oliver are on 3. Big Orange for Jamie Spencer, a brave 5th last year, moved in. So on a good 4, Clouded skies, but fine conditions for the Cup. They're getting ready. Heartbreak City about to come up. Grand Marshal looking for his place with El Moonquith and Gallant. Who Shot the Barman having a third crack at the race. Oceanographer's about to get set. Grand Marshal has gone in now. Who Shot the Barman took his place. Black-capped Secret Number is ready. Red-capped Oceanographer comes up. 5 from Godolphin this year and 4 out of the Lloyd Williams yard. As going in is Excess Knowledge. Hartnell in the Godolphin blue will be one of the last, and Wicklow Bray for Frankie Dettori. The Irish St Ledger winner will take the outside stall. Now Hartnell moved in. He's ready. Coming up is Heartbreak City. Drawn near the outside, in he goes. And Wicklow Brave will be the last one to move into the gates. He comes up now. And the field is ready. They're set for the Melbourne Cup. Racing. Hartnell jumped well in the middle of the line with Exospheric and Oceanographer. Secret Number jumped okay. Showing some speed is Big Orange down towards the inside ahead of Jamaica and Pentathlon. Rosa Virginia's pretty prominent as well. Now from the outside, Wicklow Brave. Well, Frankie's staying a very deep run, virtually on his own, right out wide on the course. Up there too is a sign. Curran Merotic's come over for Tommy Berry, actually ran to the lead. Excess Knowledge is there as well, and Kiwi is getting into a place just behind the leading bunch of horses. Who Shot the Barman's gone right back, and so too is Beautiful Romance. And as they settle into stride, there's about 7 or 8 right across the track here. Big Orange close to the inside, headed by Excess Knowledge and Curran Merotic. Out deeper is a sign, and the light blue now into 4th placing. So down to the judge, Excess Knowledge on the outside, narrowly from Curran Merotic, a sign, and then Big Orange. Wicklow Brave trapped out wide, followed by Grey Lion just in behind them with Rosa Virginia and Kiwi 3 wide turning out of the straight. Jamaica about 4 pairs back on the inside from our Ivanhoe. Then came Secret Number, followed by Gallant midfield on the inside. Hartnell's next on the outside of Oceanographer. About a length and a half away, Heartbreak City, and then came Exospheric. They're trailed by El Mandan a long way back in the field. Then came Bondi Beach from El Moonquith. They were being followed then by Heartbreaks back towards the end as Beautiful Romance. Grand Marshal is back amongst the tail enders as well. Heartbreak City a long way from them as they go out towards the 1700 metres, and then Pentathlon. He's back towards the end of the field, and Who Shot the Barman was last with Sir John Hawkwood third from last. As they made their way by the 1600 metres, Excess Knowledge leading narrowly. On the outside, Secret Number keeping him honest. They're a length and a half clear. Curran Merotic getting a lovely run on the inside of Wicklow Brave, just shading him now. They were 2 lengths clear from a sign, and then came Big Orange, a length and a half to Grey Lion and Kiwi together. 1.5 to Hartnell. He'd be about 7 or 8 lengths away from the leader. Jamaica's next on the rails when they go around the back of the course now. They were being followed at the 1200 metre mark then by on the outside is our Ivanhoe. A length further back at the third is Gallant, and then came Heartbreak City, followed by Oceanographer. Rosa Virginia's up about 7th or 8th outside of Jamaica. Well back in the field then came Exospheric down on the inside, followed by back behind them is El Mandan as they run to the home turn in a fiercely run race. Next is El Moonquith and Grand Marshal. Well back is Bondi Beach and Pentathlon, Beautiful Romance. Then Sir John Hawkwood, and Sir at the end of the field is Who Shot the Barman. Coming around the turn of the Melbourne Cup now, and it's a Secret Number leading narrowly from Excess Knowledge. Wicklow Brave is under pressure when they turn in. It's been a relentless run, Cup. Who's going to be the last man standing? Hartnell and Jamaica peel to the outside. Here comes Heartbreak City letting down with a beautiful run too. Up the middle of the course, and El Mandan joins in. Heartbreak City and El Mandan race up to Hartnell. They look the 3 from El Moonquith. It's Heartbreak City, El Mandan on the outside. They've paired down to fight it out. Heartbreak City the inside and El Mandan on the outside. El Mandan and Heartbreak City. What a finish to the Melbourne Cup. El Mandan putting his nose in front of Heartbreak City. They hit the line. El Mandan won it by a very narrow margin from Heartbreak City. 5 lengths away was Hartnell third. Kiwi next over, followed followed by Who Shot the Barman. Beautiful Romances made ground from El Moonquith, Exospheric, and then came back behind those was Big Orange. They're followed further back by Oceanographer, didn't come into it, nor did Bondi Beach, Pentathlon, Grey Lion, and behind them Excess Knowledge, followed by Jamaica, didn't run it out. Sir John Hawkwood towards the end of the field, so too is A Sign and Gallant. Wicklow Brave back towards the tail, and a couple more. Curran Roddick's just walked over the line, and so has Rose of Virginia. El Mandan has won the Melbourne Cup for Kieran McAvoy. A magnificent staying win, a wonderful preparation, capped by a remarkably good ride from Kieran McAvoy to win his second Melbourne Cup. He and Heartbreak City paired away to fight out an unforgettable finish for the final furlong. It was hammer and tong for the final 200 metres, and in the end Al Mandan has gone home a shade the better to win the Cup and give his owner Lloyd Williams a record 5th victory.
And Kieran McAvoy gets his second Melbourne Cup after claiming his first back in the year 2000 with Brew. And Robert Hickmott also gets his second after Green Moon in 2012. That was an absolute peach of a ride and a great two-horse stoush down the Flemington Straight. Our Mandan, too good for Heartbreak City, Brass.
Yeah, you couldn't have asked for a better finish in the Melbourne Cup, Marto. That was just breathtaking stuff. They went stride for the best part of 200 metres there. And ultimately, the Williams Hickmott horse prevailed once again.
Beating Heartbreak City, which ran out of his skin for Joe Moreira, and we hadn't seen it in Australia. It had bolted away with the Ebor and ran out of its skin.
Yeah, well, there he was going over hurdles, and 2 out of his last 3 starts have been over hurdles. He's got back to the flat. Very tough performance. They did race near each other for most of the race, and well, they've obviously just had the race between them over the concluding stages. Hartnell, third at this point. He's rallied very well, but just didn't have the staying power of the first 2 horses. 2
of the best rides you'll ever see in a Melbourne Cup. The winner jumped from gate 17, the runner-up jumped from gate 23, and outstanding.
It's very tight for 4th there. Who Shot the Barman certainly prominent on the outside, but Kieran McAvoy, that was a peach of a ride. We're going to replay the entire race and have a look from wide out and watch what Kieran McAvoy does early. It's a beautiful piece of riding, and Al Mandan's the victor in the 2016 Melbourne Cup.